Brookvale per square metre rate absolutely smashed. What's happening to the commercial property market and the market? Stay tuned.
I'm the ringleader, so listen up.
Hey, Mr. Novak, are you as shocked as I am or what?
What happened? What happened? What happened? A little bit embarrassing, a little bit surprising. What is the market doing? Where have these people come from? 70 people through in a 1 week campaign through a factory. I have never in my career seen these numbers. 11 different offer makers making an offer for a factory. I've never seen these numbers. It is just incredible what's happening at the moment. Incredible.
Yeah. Unbelievable. Mixed emotions. Brookvale. It's all happening, and I don't know if it's the weather that's changed things or what. But 2022, wow! If this is the start, get set because it's gonna go crazy.
Show us the place that we're talking about, dude, because I think it's really, really important. And I've been speaking with the key people, from the Brookvale area, accountants, developers and stuff like that, and they have fallen off their chair. This is the property. It's a 96 metre squared high clearance factory. Next photo. Had his toys downstairs, so there's a lovely Sea-Doo, Ducati, AMG, Merc. So we called it Tribeca, the toy factory. So a lot of people had a lot of fun with it, and I think it sparked up people's interest when they saw that. Brookie's taking a turn. It's a little bit of that as well. Brookie is doing what Alexandria did 15, 20 years ago. Let's look at the next photo. That's the factory.
Yeah.
All right. Now, interesting thing, how do you turn a truck into that? You don't. High clearance, yes, but look at the cars parked with the visitor spaces on the right there. So, unfortunately, not the hero that you'd think it would be with high clearance getting a semi-trailer in. Absolutely no way. So, what do you reckon? Back to us. What do you reckon?
That is honestly, I think. Let's start off with the fact that it was we went in with our understanding and the notion of what we believe is going on in the market at face value as far as comparables and whatnot. Bit hard to compare though. I mean, this was a different breed of animal, I think, altogether. And go on.
And can I admit that we got it wrong?
Yeah.
Can you whack it back so I can see you, mate?
Yeah.
Can I admit that we actually got this wrong, guys and girls? Good morning to Tony Santini. How are you, legend? Brookvale. Tony knows Brookvale. Very Italian place. The forefathers are in Brookvale. Now, when we went into this property, we put a per square metre rate of about $8,000 on it.
Yeah.
Everything that was sold, the last 4 sales in the last month, 2, 3, and 4 in Brookvale, all fitted in at $8,000 per square metre. Now, for people who are watching, you're probably you may be a bit confused. When you're dealing with commercial, industrial, retail, you do talk, rather than a whole number, what it sells for, you do generally talk for a per square metre rate. That's just what happens. So per square metre rate, to give you an idea, if you say 100 metres squared, and you're 14,500 per square metre, which is the rate that we got, It's 1.45 as an example. So, when we went in, we showed our lovely owner, top guy, eh?
Yeah, honestly, and I think that's what made the experience just so much better as well, is when you're dealing with someone like that, just down to earth, and I think loving every moment with you. So it's such a mutual love for it. Yeah, definitely can talk. I loved it.
And he had a couple of buyers in his pocket already, and he was like, mate, I don't want to deal with this. I don't know how to deal with this. How much more can we catapult it? Like, feeling a bit awkward. And he removed himself from the negotiation by appointing us as an agent. He handed the buyers to us that he had. We had the buyers that we had. But, again, we didn't have any comparisons that were, when you apply the 8,000 per square metre, we were telling him his place was worth 750 to 800. What a deliberation we had when we were pricing his factories.
I know, it was unbelievable, and but I think that's also noticing the shift in the market, and it's just noticing the fact that there's so much demand now out there, little stock, high demand, and this is where we started to gauge. This is where we started to feel. When we started getting people through, when we started having those conversations, we weren't getting people slapping us in the face going, whoa, this is too high. I'm out of here. I'm not dealing with it. The moment they saw it, I think they fell in love with it a little bit like we did.
Now, if you just tuned in, we're talking about the Brookvale per square metre rate absolutely smashed. $1.4 million a factory sold for in Brookvale that was 96 metres squared. We called it the Tribeca Toy Factory. One sold for 135, one sold for 1.4. We had 70 people through in a 1 week period. We had 11 different offer makers competing on the Tribeca Toy Factory. It went absolutely bananas. Now, managing that, I think, is important, Nath, not just selling it went to the first person that makes a wonderful offer. I think the owner, the agent, and the buyers will work through that process so everyone was comfortable that it was transparent.
Yeah.
Why the hell have we broken the Brookvale per square metre rate? I don't understand what is happening. When I talked to the developer who developed this site originally 30 years ago, and I told him, he fell off his chair. When I talked to a local accountant in Brookvale, he fell off his chair. What are some of the things that we spoke about that are contributing to this?
Contributing to this, I think, and if we bounce back to it, we're seeing that there's not a lot of stock out there. There's not a lot of things, for instance, that are coming to the market, and when you think Brookvale, you'd automatically think, heavy industrial, your grungy sites, you've got your high clearance warehouse, as you were pointing out before, you've got a ton of, entry and exit way for vehicles and whatnot. But this one was a little bit different. And I think that difference sparked a whole complete different reaction to buyers out there. Now, at first, of course, you're looking at investors coming through, questioning whether or not you could rent the top floor, both floor, because that was really dynamic about this space. You got the warehouse element on one side. You had the mezzanine floor, providing this wicked looking loft-like office space.
It doubled your space.
Yeah. And so, and that's what you got to be mindful as well when we're talking about the price per square meter, because we're referring to the ground floor space plate there. So there was a lot of flexibility there when it came to investors, but then what it triggered more than anything, I think, was owner-occupiers who have been waiting in the wings, waiting in the midst, seeing what's out there. They've been waiting 2-3 years. This is some of the feedback I was getting when I was taking people through. And then they saw this and they're like, wow. So demand was a big factor in this.
I think also, I think Brookvale's taken a turn.
Oh, yeah.
If anyone watched, 96 metres squared, $1.4 million, that's more than a residential unit. That's more than a brand new residential unit that we've got for sale in DY. So this factory space per square metre has taken over residential space. That's never happened in Northern Beaches. So I think Brookvale and the type of people coming to Brookvale and the type of coin that they're prepared to pay, there's all the beer breweries coming into Brookvale, there's all the sexy shops coming into Brookvale, cafes coming into Brookvale. It's becoming a very central, bustling hive that people are prepared to pay more.
Absolutely. And that's definitely a lot of what I was seeing as well. And as you mentioned before, for instance, it's like Alexandria, Randwick, Surrey Hills. We were actually getting a lot of clients from that side of town coming this way and wanting to sniff out the Northern Beaches, wanting to actually see what's been going on, because Brookvale has absolutely evolved, especially in the time that I've been in the real estate industry, and just I've never seen it before. And it's really, really cool to be a part of it, and to be, when as well, for the fact that I'm also dealing with commercial leasing as well as sales, when you're seeing a suburb grow like this and seeing the love and the culture starting to establish itself even more, that's what makes this a sale like this so much more enticing.
I think also that the sheer fact that interest rates are so low, so people who are doing their maths on $1 million, you know, your interest rate, if they can get a nice blended, a nice cheap rate, maybe not quite commercial, but they can put on their residential property a bit of the interest, they're getting residential rates. So 2.5% is 25 grand a year. So for 38 grand a year at 1.4, for example, it's actually cheaper for these guys to buy it than to rent it. And I think that's a big thing. That's a big thing that people are starting to contribute to paying top dollar.
Definitely. Don't mind me. I actually want to swing back to the actual property again because we didn't go through all the photos. I thought it'd be a bit cheeky and, you know, give people the full squiz about what we've been talking about this morning. But
now, another thing, Nath, that's contributing to a great price for this property, people have made a lot of money out of their actual properties that they owned in prior to 2021 and 2021. So they're spending the equity and they're buying commercial because they can buy effectively a higher income with their equity. So I think that's a contributing factor. I'll say it again. People have made equity out of the properties that they're currently in it now, and then they're taking that money and pushing it into stuff like this.
Absolutely. And definitely within the past 12 to 24 months, you know, the amount of capital growth that's actually happened with residential, you know, people have definitely wanting to explore another route, another avenue, and they're getting itchy feet and wanting to tackle the commercial market. And now I'm going to be jumping conversations here, looking at the floor plan of the property on the big screen there. But this is what got people excited. This is the type of thing that people hadn't seen for a very long time, and it definitely gave an edge when it came to looking at a commercial property in a whole different light between, you know, your big warehouse or your big, you know, like almost like massive storage area, like the flexibility behind it here. And then you've got upstairs and you've got this whole creative space that you can work with. This is what got people really, really interested. Now I'm going to come back to us. I'm there. Here we are. Perfect.
Well, that's it. And we got that rate wrong. That was above all comparisons in the marketplace. Comparisons in the marketplace were sitting at 800,000, about 8,000 a square metre, and this just hit 14,500 a square metre. It just goes to show. Yeah.
Can I add something without being rude? I think one of the other contributing factors as to why the price went the way that it did is because, I mean, you've got to look at us as agents. It's who you're working with. It's how you're communicating the information. You know, this could have gone sideways. This could have gone a whole different set of ways. You know, we started with a price guide of 999,000 offers over, and we definitely explored that to its maximum potential. Not everyone's going to be able to do that, but the communication that we had as a team and the communication we had the vendors and the buyers, that was so key to getting this to the point that it ended up. And that's something to look at even closer and give ourselves, I think, a bit of a pat on the back, because probably not everyone can achieve that.
It was a cracker, and that marketing was pretty sick.
Yeah.
For anyone who doesn't know, if you go to that lead image, was created by our media team. So this room was a blank room when the photo was taken, and that image on the wall on the left was added by Novak media. The media team at Novak to make that room explode with excitement. So that's actually out of Gucci, that lady there, the Gucci magazine. So it's pretty cool. I think the marketing came out pretty cool. It definitely caught people's eyes.
I love it, Mark. I love it. But we did it. It's broken. Yep. On to the next, shall we?
Nice. Congratulations to every single person in Brookvale that owns a property there. A lot of these people have been grinders for a very, very long time in this very, very old suburb. They're in aged assets. They are all doing well when you look at this per square metre rate. And I'm just excited for everyone that's contributed to Brookvale. Well done, everyone.
Definitely, guys. Well done, everybody. Go Brookie.
Go,
I love it. Well, Mr. Novak, it was a pleasure talking to you this morning. And I think you and we're definitely going to get back to it together, grind it out, and see what the rest of the Northern Beaches has to offer.
If you want to sell now, call us. It's a very good time.
It's excellent time.
See you, mate.
See you guys. See you.